What's up guys, how are you doing? This is Salmon Sauce, and for today, I am going to be showing you guys this sugarcane farm. And I'm going to be updating it and making it look completely brand new. So if you look, it's basically just a dirt rectangle that has sugarcane growing on top of it. Now, this world isn't my Minecraft world currently. This is actually a copy of my Minecraft world that I made back in 2014. That's why if you look around, there's not really any new blocks being used. I think quartz was just released at this time. I don't think we had terracotta or concrete, and we have a bunch of cobblestone buildings in the back. So anyway, this is basically one of the most ancient structures on my Minecraft world that my friend Peter made back when this world was still survival. If you guys remember on the Xbox 360, we didn't even have creative mode in the beginning, so this is probably even older than 2014. I want to say 2012 or maybe 2013. So now, fast forward a few years, this is actually a copy of my world from 2019. So this is basically what it looks like before I'm going to update it. The reason I wanted to update it at first is because I wanted to dig a tunnel through it, but I decided, what if instead of just digging a tunnel through it, what if I just hollow out the entire inside and make the bottom of this thing look completely different? So that's what I'm going to be doing today. So I started out by hollowing the inside of the garden, and then I started digging into these arches that I made. And then after I made all these arches, I decided to highlight them using quartz because it just looked way too plain, and the quartz really helps make the arches stand out a lot more. And after all the arches had the quartz highlights on it, I decided to make these torches in between all of the arches. I decided that deep slate bricks was the best, and then once I did that, I decided to make these engravings, sort of like a W-shaped engraving thing with these stairs that I put, and then I put it all over. I also decorated the outside with a smooth stone walkway surrounding the entire structure, as well as some waterfalls and some other sugar canes growing along the outside. But even after this, something on the outside was missing, so I decided that I needed to focus more on the walkway and decorate it a little bit more, because it looked way too plain. So I started putting these lights underneath the walkway and covering it with glass. And this really gave a much more unique look to the walkway. And I also added lodestone, because lodestone, it's very similar to stone brick, but it's slightly different. So it gave this very subtle design on it. So it wasn't too much, it wasn't too flashy, but it really made the walkway look a lot better. And once I did that circle around the lights, I added much more lights around the entire thing. And then I did this sort of helix-like pattern, basically all around the walkway. So then after I finished up designing the walkway on the outside was pretty much done. I just added a couple more plants here and there. And then I wanted to focus more on the inside, particularly the floor in general. And for the floor, I really wanted to make it look very, very classy. So I made these circular designs made out of dripstone blocks, very underrated block. I used brown concrete, I used bone, and I used sandstone because it gives it such a classy look, that brown and beige look. I made all of these circles, and then I filled out the designs surrounding it as well as adding a little bit more lighting on the sides of the floor. And after I was finished designing the floor, I made these orange circular designs on the ceiling, and I really wanted to focus more on the ceiling now. I added more color on the ceiling, so I added a lot of orange, some cyan, but I still kept some sandstone to make it match the floor a little bit. I added much more lighting on the ceiling, and I used a lot of stairs, slabs, and trapdoors because I wanted to add more dimension. I didn't want the ceiling to be too flat. And once you add dimension, it really gives the ceiling a much nicer look. So after both the floor, the ceiling, and the walls were complete, the only thing left was to add more plants, because this is a garden after all. I added these tree things in the corner, and I really wanted this area to look like a central hub, sort of, because there's so many walkways that branch out of it. And I didn't want the inside to be completely empty, so I wanted to make a few things to decorate the inside more so that people would want to spend time in this place. So I decided to add some fountains and some more plants. basically throughout the middle of the building, in between the circular designs that I made, as well as some benches here and there so people could sit down and hang out in this area for very long periods of time. And of course, we still needed some more lighting because it was still kind of dark in here. So I started building chandeliers basically on this orange circles that I made on the ceiling. So this is my chandelier design. And again, I love to give my ceilings dimension, and the chandelier helped do exactly that. And once the chandeliers were complete, that pretty much finished the inside of the structure. So then I blew this giant hole into the side of the mountain that I carved in because it just looked hideous. It was just a flat mountain. There was no dimension to it at all. So I blew up this giant hole into it, and then I just started adding all these plants. I wanted it to look very natural. So I started making more holes into it, added some moss, some leaves, some vines, and it really helped sort of mask how disgusting that sliced in half mountain was. Just adding all these plants gave it much more dimension, and it made it look much more natural. And including the inside too. I added all these plants on the inside and another walkway which connects to that garden. You guys should know how much I love plants by now. If you add plants to something, it can only make it look better. And this was pretty much the last step of my design, so let me just go around and show you guys how it ended up. If you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications because I'm going to have a lot more great content just like this. So thank you all for watching, I'll see you guys in the next one, and have yourselves a splendid day.